All right, so we're opening up the project. We have, prior to that, we made sure that we updated our project and we were all in revision 21. We could see also all the changes everyone made, which is, well, that was in this document, but in this folder, you want to go to the root to get all the changes, or even more so, the very, very root folder and say, show my log, and we can see all the changes that everyone made, and everyone's names are there. And not everyone really said that much, but definitely when we're doing real things, you want to put real messages. Cool. And if I wanted to, I could say throw away all changes and come back to just this first one and delete everything. It's the joy of version control. All right. So everyone should have my 192.168.192.53, and I want you to leave this map and go to the map called, I think it's called main menu. We'll go into maps, and here it's called login menu. Okay. So I'll go ahead and go to login, and it's gloriously empty. Not a thing here. There's a little bit of code that's going to work, that's going to take care of everything. But let's just make sure you're here in main map. And if anyone has a VR headset on, or a VR headset, you can actually connect it to the computer before you open up the Unreal Editor. And you can do everything we're doing now, but you can do it in VR too, which is a really cool to leverage a little free template for doing multiplayer VR and desktop. Cool. So in main menu, we're going to not hit regular play. You need to be in a standalone game. That's kind of a rule for all multiplayer. It needs to be in a standalone game, but you don't need to make it executable. You can just do this and it simulates being in a standalone game. Right? So I am screen recording this so you can see where my mouse is later on if you have any questions, but it needs to be a standalone game, not just in the selected viewport. You will get an error if you do it in the selected viewport. Okay? Now, this is making kind of like an executable thing. Which might have gone somewhere else. Let's see. So right now I think it's somewhere. I just got rid of that Slack window, and hopefully it's still doing its thing. If not, maybe I closed it out. We'll try it again. There we are. All right, so everyone, when it gets ready, you'll see this menu. And it's really cool. You can hijack this whole project and use it for your own maps. So you can do multiplayer, which is really cool. And I'm going to use my name. Everyone should put in their own name. And then I'm going to host the session, but you guys will be joining a session. I'm going to show you what you're going to do first. You're going to say join a session, and you're going to hit next. You're not going to worry about looking for servers because we're not really using a server. We're just using a VPN. You're going to actually specify an IP address, and you're going to put in that IP address that we put in the chat. Okay, and you're going to say join. Don't do it now, or you can do it now, but it's not going to work because I haven't hosted it yet. But all right, so you're going to go to join a session, and then specify an IP address and put in that IP address. Where my gamer's at, I'm sure you've done this before. I am going to host it because I'm the teacher and I get to do that. And I'm going to say next.
Sorry, quick question. Where did you pull up that window?
Are you in the login menu map?
Yep.
And then you hit play in standalone game.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And that'll come in here, and I see Tenray.
Got it.
Right? Flying around, doing what peoples do. I'll give everyone a moment to try to join in. And now there's supposed to be even voice over IP, so I could like mute Zoom, and we can actually hear each other inside of here. but it's new for 4.26. Oh, see, you can hear me now. So if everyone were in, I would mute myself. So everyone probably should mute because Zoom is on too, or everyone should mute in Zoom, one or the other. I'm gonna stay unmuted in Zoom because I want. Cool. So now everyone wander around at your leisure and listen to the echoing Todd. All right, and now let's point out some things. We have different walk modes, so you can walk around like flat-footed. You can have this like pivot mode where you kind of look around an object. Flying around is the most natural for that's how the Unreal Engine editor normally works. If you have a VR headset, you can click the VR button and you'll be a VR character. But if you don't have a VR headset connected, that will crash your editor. All right. And yes, it is localized audio. It's spatialized. So as I run away from Kevin, I get quieter. As he chases me, I try to avoid him. All right. So let's come hang out in this gear room right here. Now, the other functionality can be exposed by hitting spacebar. By hitting spacebar, we can do things like take a snapshot, look at X-ray views. A very interesting thing is measurement, right? I can measure the distance between objects, right? So I use this with projects with clients. You can send them an executable, and then you can like go in there and we use it for location scouting. Right? So I'm adding little measurements, and you can say, oh, we need to make an asset that fits in this. We need to make a sofa that fits right in this window right here, or whatever. So let's try some other features. You got spacebar. We can say transform, right? So I can select something. Let me try it again. Transform. I can say move, and now I should be able to move things around, right? So I'm moving the floor. So you can make edits. Move the trees. Because I'm in transform mode. If we come back here to this little center area, I hit spacebar and I can do explode gears. So execute, and now we can all watch in multiplayer as those gears explode. Right, so these are all built-in plugins that you can expand the functionality of these things. In the syllabus, the first link in the syllabus is for additional readings, is an actual deep dive into this template called Working Collaboratively in Unreal Engine. It's like a 30-minute to 45-minute video that gets into all these blueprints. But the thing of note that I want us to do for the homework is if you hit spacebar, come to bookmark first, and then everyone go to the backyard. Right? So these bookmarks are wayfinding points. So bookmark, let's go to the front yard. And this is how we're going to check homework next week. Inside of a multiplayer game, everyone's going to put in their own bookmark. And they're going to add in a box, a sphere, a cool thing that they found for their midterm. But we're going to make like a little thing, just run around and find a spot that you want as your very own, and we're going to put a bookmark. Cool? Let's see, what else do I have? That's pretty much everything. Those are all the features. But yeah, this is a cool way of setting up like we're right now creating an exterior environment for like this California wild wilderness scene. And like the creative director really likes to see scale, and he gets in the VR, send him an executable. We all do multiplayer, and then we review everything. It's very easy. It's just a multiplayer game. Navigate around, and you can do it in VR headset. So I just want to show you guys this, that the only reason we can do this is because we have that VPN set up, which was a free thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quit, and it's going to boot everyone. All right, so sorry guys, you all got booted from the multiplayer game. We're all back. And great. Hope that felt good. I hope that no one gets the bends from coming resurfacing too quickly. What's happening here is that there's this game mode that opens up this menu when you hit play. And the trick is that, this is a pretty complicated blueprint, but if you want to load your own content, you can actually load it as a submap of that other map called Collaborative. And I'm going to kind of show you what you're going to do for your homework, okay? So I'm not going to I am going to show you exactly step by step how to do your homework. How about that? All right. So, and it's screen recording. So the homework, if you look at the syllabus, is to open the project. I'm going to get rid of that one. I think that's self-explanatory. Okay. So we're going to make a material instance of base color, and then we're going to choose our own favorite color. We're going to make a new map, and we're going to add in a bookmark that is going to be our name that's looking at that asset, right? No need to bring anything from the outside world. If you want to bring in a cool 3D model of a sword that you found for your final, that's fine. But it's over the requirements. That's above and beyond. So we're going to. Well, I was going to show you something really quickly on this that. Well, there's no need, actually. So the secret sauce of this project is actually this this other map that we started off in that has the template, has the house in it. Look at levels. And so you have collaborative viewer P. What does P mean? P means persistent. It means it's a level that's always there. We might have mentioned streaming levels briefly, but the idea is that if you open your window levels, you'll see that this is actually two levels that are stacked on top of each other. Okay? The sample level is actually the geometry. The persistent level is just the code that executes the multiplayer stuff. I have it unlit. If I look at the outliner, there's nothing in here. This persistent level is completely blank. The sample level is where everything is. But let's say, should I add in make a new map? I can make a blank map. So let's do it. So this is kind of like its own preset, right? This is collaborative viewer. We're going to put our stuff in the assets folder. That's our style guide for working together. So I'm going to make a new folder at the root called assets. Actually, I kind of borked that. I go to root, and so that's the collaborative stuff. We're going to keep that unhindered. I'm going to make a new folder for assets, and then I'll make a folder for maps. And I'm going to make a new map called Todd. All right, so everyone's going to make a map called their first name. I'm going to call it LVL Todd. Cool. And I'm going to save. And I'm going to go in there. And it's completely blank. This is how I want it to be. I want it to be completely blank. We don't want to have more and more lights because we're going to stack all our levels together. And I don't want to have 500 suns screwing everything around. Okay? So blank level. Go back up to assets. And I'm just following, again, the step-by-step for tutorial for homework. Let's make our own instance of base color. I make a new material, make a new folder, materials, and make a new base color. This is the idea of creating a master material that everyone will be instancing off of. Base color. And then in that base color, I'm going to give a 3 vector. I'm going to hit 3 and click. And I'm going to convert this to a parameter so we can drive it in real time. So this one's just going to be called color. And I'm going to connect it to base color. Master material done. I'll dock it for right now. And now here's the homework part. Log in, pull the most recent version, open the project, and then create a material instance. And you're going to call it mi underscore your name. Mi meaning material instance. And I'm going to choose my favorite color. And my favorite color right now is just yellow. It's just crazy yellow right that. Oops. You gotta give it some color first, and then I'll make it yellow. Beautiful. And so now I have MI Todd, and then we'll have MI everyone's name in here in this folder, well organized. We're just practicing being good neighbors. Okay. Then I'm going to go into this collaborative viewer. Let's make a new folder. We're going to call it Blueprints. And let's kind of do this out of order. And then I'm going to find a primitive. A primitive is something like a cube, a sphere, a cylinder, a cone, a plane. I'm going to bring in a sphere. And I'm fine with it being in a random position for right now. That's fine with me. I just brought it into anywhere. And I'm going to put my material on it. There we go. So this is my sphere in my map called Level Todd. And then I'm going to go and let me add a little spotlight to it, because right now I'm unlit. I'm working in the dark. So if I add a spotlight, if it's hard to frame, you can always take the position of the sphere, copy it, and then paste it, and then just raise it up. So that way it's center framed. And now if I go to lit, I should be able to see that sphere. Cool. Do whatever you want to with the color. Do whatever you want to with the light. Just do one light for right now. We don't want to create any crazy performance issues. And then I'm going to move the light to movable so I don't have to bake lighting. Right? So this is my very own map with my very own color, my very own light, and my own light can be its very own color as well. So we got yellow on yellow right there. And then I'm going to steal something from this collaborative viewer. Collaborative viewer, and if you watch that that link that I sent you, they'll go into details about this. But everything that you saw when you hit spacebar is just a different kind of blueprint. And we're going to be using the bookmarks. So here's all the other different options, and we're going to do bookmarks. We're going to take BP bookmark, and very important here, I'm going to move it in here, and I'm going to make a copy. I'm not going to move it there. I want to leave this for my neighbors to use as a template. This is kind of like the parent material. I'm going to create a copy right here. Bookmarks also have their own inheritance. It could also be. It can also make a child class of this. Let me try that. I might be getting ahead of myself, but so we'll call it BP and then Todd, or BP Todd Mark, or whatever. And this has inherited all the properties of bookmark, and now I can move it over. Just be a good neighbor and leave the BP bookmark for our friends. All right. So this is just a bookmark that's a camera. If I move it in, it has a little camera here. I can pilot it, and I can find my sphere. There it is, and I'm framing it. Cool. So this is the homework. This is the first part of the homework. I have created 3 things: a light, a primitive, and a bookmark. All right. I'm going to hit eject to get out of there. It's ready to go. Ah, yes. There's this weird thing. Let's see if I have to do this again. Where this little tag right here gets super big sometimes. And that's what this is. And it happens only occasionally. Let's see. If I look over here at my bookmark, for some reason, my bookmark is 10,000 big. Just make sure if that happens that you pay attention to that. I should report that bug. So everything's fixed here. Let's see if I just add in the regular bookmark if it does that. Regular bookmark. It's not 1,000. Must be something about making the instance of it. So instead of making instance, just make a copy again. You can duplicate and then call it whatever you want to. And then move it. But remember to keep everything organized for our style guide, which is assets, blueprints, and then I'm going to get rid of some of this mess. Let's put in this one, see if it's all crazy. No, it's not crazy. Okay. But I'm fine with Todd Mark. This is my level. I'm happy with it. I think I should leave the one I liked. Before you get to see me do it again. Frame it up. There we go. Am I done? Almost. I am going to go into that map for our collaborative viewer. And I'm going to load it in. I'm going to say add. Asset. Blueprints. Or sorry, asset maps. Level Todd. Todd is now here hanging out with this giant tag again. I should now be able to see Todd Mark in here. Let's see. Let's sample level. Let's see. Level details. Levels. Let's get rid of details for right now. We don't need that. Todd. All right. So I see BP bookmark. That means that I didn't do my job very well. Let's go back to my level. I make these mistakes on purpose. Yeah. So I didn't take my own. Let's get my bookmark. And we'll do it one more time. So much fun. Pilot it, frame it, save it, and then I can even make my own folder if I wanted to. Everything is Todd stuff. Keep it all organized, and we'll save. And we'll come back to the level. Great. And so what you probably can't see at all is there's this little dot right here. And this means that, that Todd is being loaded by blueprints. I want Todd to always be there. You're going to change the streaming method to always loaded. Great. Cool. This giant tag thing is happening. That's fine. I have Todd Mark. And let's go ahead and make it 1. All right. So what I have here is a map inside of a map. And that I can select, I can go to my world outliner and say, only show me things that are my current level. So if I am in Todd, I only see my Todd assets. If I go to sample level, I only see the things in sample level, and back to the persistent, which is empty, I'll see nothing. So again, this little test to only work in your own level. And in this way, we can all be working simultaneously on a level remotely and check it out, and we're not affecting other people's work. Right? So I could be doing my things at my level. You guys are doing things at your level. If you go back to that idea of a style guide, UE4 style guide, they talk about how to stack levels like this. And it's just a way for everyone to have their own level to work remotely. Where is that? So let's go find level. Level maps. Nope. It's in here. Oh, there's levels in there 100 times. Okay. Textures, materials, blueprints. There we go. So, like for instance, you can have an audio engineer working in the audio level. Somebody else is in their persistent. The persistent level is usually left alone. Somebody could be editing geometry. Some could be editing lighting. So this is kind of like how you often work. Is that you make different levels that are just stacked on top of each other, so each person can check out their own level. In our case, it's going to be Todd. And you also will have to check out this persistent level because you have to add your map to it. If somebody else has checked it out, you can ask them to load your map in there, or you can wait until they're done. So this gives us a little chance to have some roadblocks and whatnot. A little trick that you can do is with your map selected, you can always hit this little icon here, Todd, and I can actually offset my level if I want to. I can say edit it, and I can move my level somewhere else and get it offset it a little bit. I want my thing to be up in here. And now if I hit play, I'll just do regular play for right now, and I hit spacebar, bookmark, I now have BP Todd mark. And we can all wayfind to my my sphere. And this is how we'll check the homework next week, is we'll all go wayfinding to each other's thing. I just did a sphere with a color. If you want to do a simple mesh, don't go crazy. Don't do like super awesome particles or whatever. Just keep it simple. We don't want to crash anyone else's computer, but this is the idea. Make something, show that you understand the idea of instancing, the idea of bookmarks, and then we'll multiplayer run around and check out everyone's homework. And that'll be a good way to get started with understanding multiplayer wayfinding. Cool. Of course, again, there I was screen recording, so everything should be everything will be recorded, all the steps. There's obviously tons and tons of stuff that we can get into, but I'm trying to keep it. I know there's a lot, but I'm trying to keep it simple, but new concepts, right? So let's not try to break it too much. So that's the homework in a nutshell. Let's look at that real quick. So, yep, that's everything. And then make sure you save and commit. So I guess the last step, which is very important, is that whenever you're done, save and commit. Now, actually, the most important thing I haven't done yet, and this is the button at the end of our demo, is that we need to have source control. All right. So I'm going to connect to source control, and because Unreal Engine has source control built in, I actually don't even need Tortoise SVN except for getting that initial project down. I can choose here again. Here's all these wonderful different versions of source control. I'm going to do Subversion, and then let's do a repository of from our spreadsheet, which I have so many tabs open right now. There we go. Just like we did before, copy. So the first thing everyone should do is actually connect to version control so we can start locking things out. Todd, I don't need anything in the labels directory. I'm going to put VP123, accept. And this is all in that presentation as well. Just for reference. So everything's kind of already laid out for you step by step in too many cooks. There we go. Oh no, now you're messing with me. Cool. So SVN, we got through the Mac. Now we have using UE4 as version control client. Go ahead and click the source control button. And then go ahead and select Subversion. And then as you work with files, you see my source control is connected. It's green. As I work with files, if I, for instance, take this collaborative viewer, I'm already in it right now, and let's say I take this tree and I move it, and then I hit save, you see it asks me to check out a file. I check it out, and say checkout selected, and there's going to be a red check mark at the bottom here, or the top here, right? And then if anyone is connected, if you you'll see that it will say checked out by Todd. And then you say, Todd, you have it checked out, you need to check it back in. And I say, well, I did check it back in. You should refresh your viewer. Or I can just say, oh, my bad, I'm done. I'm going to check it back in. All right, so this is, and then I can do my log, showing version control inside the engine. Cool. And there, I'm being a good fellow. So again, connect And then when you make a lot of changes, you can then say submit here, and it'll push everything. So if everyone wants to, I'm going to go ahead and close out. And everyone now pull the project who wants to. I mean, I know this is a lot, but go ahead and make sure we're all at revision 22 now. And for those adventurous souls, I'm going to set up another server and see who wants to join and look at my bookmark. All right. Remember that you actually have to go to the login menu. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is a good little note. See, it says question mark. It actually doesn't know what the status of this is because I haven't actually added it. Right? And inside the game engine, I have to say mark for add. If I just did it in Tortoise SVN, I often do my commits and pulls outside of Unreal Engine. I can say all, and here's Todd's homework. And now I just push my homework, and we're at revision 23. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have everyone else's work, right? Revision 23, and open it up again. All right, so everyone pull and be in 23 together. And I'm going to go to log me in. Everything looks good here. And standalone game. Todd. And I am going to host a session. And for everyone there, you just need to find the 192.168.192.53. And then, hey Tenray, let's go warp to my bookmark. Let's hit spacebar and go to BP Todd Mark. There you go. We're wayfinding. So this is a way you point out different things. Say, hey, I think that this vignette, I think that we should act over here, and I think that the other thing should happen over here, and it's a way for us to notate and talk about cool places to be. Cool. So that's it for the technical demo of today. Hopefully that was fun and enthralling. So as you see, you can load in your own map, and I can completely delete this architectural map, right? And we can play multiplayer in something else, right? We don't have to have this geometry here whatsoever. It can be our own content. We can load in as a sub map and then delete this map with this architecture stuff. Cool. Thank you for playing along, and I'll go ahead and hit good old stop on the